Brisbane Centre, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu is 235 miles to the northwest of Darwin. I'm not receiving you at the moment, but just giving you a position report, and we'll report when closer to Darwin. Nothing.
Hello from Dili International Airport here in East Timor. I wanted to start this video with a really quick sort of behind the scenes of one of the things that happens when you do land at an airport that doesn't have avgas in a fuel bowser that you can operate yourself, or and it doesn't have a fuel truck that comes around and fills it for you. They don't normally have avgas here at Dili, but thankfully my friend Michael, who's been helping me out with this trip, has organised a 44-gallon barrel of avgas, which the guys are now going to load up into Echo Yankee Zulu. So we're ready tomorrow morning to head off bright and early back into Australia.
Yes. Nice.
A good way to tell that you've got avgas in your tanks and not water is by throwing it out onto the hot surface and make sure it evaporates quickly. Water won't evaporate as quickly as avgas will when you chuck it onto a hot surface. Echo Yankee Zulu ready for departure tomorrow now. Look at this, beautiful full tanks of avgas. See you, mate. See you back in Melbourne. I have to spray this and fill the cockpit. Here we go. Make sure I get down the back. And sit and wait. That's not nice. That is not nice.
Coming up to the waypoint, which is the boundary between East Timor's Flight Information Region, FIR, and Australia. So kind of crossing into Australian airspace in a second. I can't reach Australia on the radio, we're just too far away. We're something like 300 miles away from Darwin at the moment. But East Timor want me to establish two-way communication with Australia before they hand me over. But I'm also going to lose East Timor shortly. So I think we're just going to go into this period of no VHF coverage. It's fine, we don't need two-way because we are VFR today. But it's always nice to know that you're speaking to someone. So let me try Brisbane one more time. Brisbane Centre, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu at Todot, 9,500. Estimate Darwin, time 0157. If they hear me, they hear me. I don't think they'll hear me. And now I'm going to tell East Timor what's going on as well. Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu at Todot, 9,500. We are negative two-way communications with Brisbane Centre, but we'll continue trying.
Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu, Roger. Continue trying. Contact Brisbane.
Thanks for your help. Have a nice day. Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu.
Yes, sir.
I don't need it at this altitude. We're 9,500 feet. It's not a legal requirement. It's just nice to have a bit of oxygen on a longer leg, and I need to be on my game for this one. But I've got quite a long day of flying ahead of me. There's at least another 4 hours after I get to Darwin. And if I have oxygen, I'm probably less likely to get fatigue later on in the day, and hopefully less likely to get any headaches or anything like that on the second leg. Plus it's nice. This flying trip to East Timor has been a really important one to me, actually. I needed to do a trip like this where I push myself a little bit outside of my comfort zone of just flying this aircraft. Well, not just around Melbourne and my local area, but around Australia. I've done that for many years now, and I'm lucky to have been able to do that. But you get used to the airspace, you get used to how air traffic control works. So the moment you take it somewhere new, the moment I have to deal with customs, have to deal with border patrol, air traffic control services who might not have English as their first language, new airports, new runways, new procedures, new weather systems. Even in 4 days of flying, which it's been for me on this trip, I've grown as a pilot. Self-doubt pokes its head up every now and again in every walk of life, but especially in aviation. Doing trips like this where you do push yourself and put a bit of pressure on yourself beyond what you're used to really helps to break that self-doubt cycle. And so this has been a really important trip for me. Ultimately, one day I've talked about flying around the world, and these sorts of experiences really help alleviate sometimes that self-doubt. When you're sitting at home planning huge flights and you think, can I really do that? Do I really know what I'm doing? Am I supposed to be here? This trip has really helped to kind of quash some of those self-doubts and raise my confidence another level to know that well, maybe I can do something as big as that. Shall we see if we can get Brisbane on the radio? Brisbane Centre, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu is 235 miles to the northwest of Darwin, 9,500. I'm not receiving you at the moment, but just giving you a position report, and we'll report when closer to Darwin.
Approach, Victor Hotel Mike Alpha Hotel.
I thought they was coming back to me. No, that was Delhi approach, which I've still got on the other radio. No, they still can't hear us. Just climbed us up to flight level 115 now, 11,500 feet. Just to get over this cloud layer that you can see outside at the moment. I kind of could go over the top or underneath it. And I figured I've got the oxygen on already, and it's probably a bit smoother on top, and actually the headwinds have dropped a little bit on top of this layer as well, so I think it's a good decision to go over the top. And it also means that I can see any build-ups that are bubbling up because I've got a better perspective, and higher means I'm going to get Brisbane Centre on the radio sooner than if I was lower. So height is good, altitude is your friend on these long legs. Brisbane Centre, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu, flight level 115. We are 175 miles to Darwin, estimate Darwin, time 0202. Well, I started 59, go ahead. 59, November 36. This is Brisbane Centre, I think I can have Brisbane Centre. 2, thanks, Qantas 19. Brisbane Centre, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu.
Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu, Brisbane Centre, good morning.
Good morning, Victor Hotel Echo Yankee Zulu. We are 143 miles to run to Darwin, estimate Darwin. Darwin, time 0203, maintaining flight level 115.
Echo Yankee Zulu, roger, copied, flight level 115.
Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks. Australia. Nice to hear the Australian accent again. It's 142 miles from Darwin at 11,500 feet. That's when we get there.
Brisbane Centre, 34 calling flight level 180.
And now it's just like being back in Australia again.
Flight level 120, thanks, Qantas 1959.
I just need to concentrate now on the way out, so thank you very much, East Timor. That will sit next to me as I go into Darwin. That's Bathurst Island we're just passing over at the moment. First bit off Australian land that we've flown over so far, but back over water again for another about 20 minutes until we get to Darwin.
Echo Yankee Zulu, cleared visual approach, Lee Point, right base, runway 29. At 10 miles, contact the tower 133.1.
Cleared visual approach, right base, runway 29 and 10 miles over to tower, Echo Yankee Zulu. Okay, and I have to remember, don't open the door. Don't open the door when I land. Otherwise, Border Patrol will get annoyed at me. Darwin Tower, Sirius Echo Yankee Zulu, we are 5 miles to run, just for the visual, right base, runway 29.
Echo Yankee Zulu, Echo's available, runway 29, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 29, Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks. Don't open the door, don't open the door, don't open the door, don't open the door.
Don't open the door, don't open the door. Thank you. I was told not to open the door until I show you the door. The team at Pearl Flight Centre here at Darwin Airport had organised for Customs and Border Patrol to meet me at the aircraft, so it was literally just 2 or 3 minutes later.
Thank you very much.
When I was cleared into the country, they refueled my aircraft and I was swiftly on my way to the next stop. However, the story doesn't end here. If you look in the distance as I was getting ready to depart Darwin Airport, you can see there are some pretty significant storm clouds building. Now, my plan was to leave Darwin and track south. However, that would have taken me right through the middle of the storm activity. So I was vectored north around the storms to try and get round the back of it before then tracking southbound and heading towards Alice Springs. This did mean I avoided the big storm cell, but what I didn't realise is there was a lot more storm activity behind it. You can see one of those big storm cells in the distance out the side window here. So instead of a nice straight line from Darwin to Alice Springs, I had to divert left and right, up and down, and I didn't have enough fuel to get to Alice in one hop. So I had to divert and land at Tennant Creek. It was such a bumpy, uncomfortable flight across the desert. I didn't turn the cameras on because I didn't really feel like filming it, and I was just focusing on the flight itself before finally getting to Alice Springs just before the sun went down. Another really long day of flying down. That was East Timor to Darwin to Tennant Creek and finally here to Alice Springs, only just in before the sun sets. Thanks, Echo Yankee Zulu. So I want this to be a bit more raw and behind the scenes of what it's like doing these flights that I do. No one's answering. My hope of doing a quick turnaround here in Broken Hill kind of been dashed.
Then the ice protection of no choice but to go through that up ahead of us.